It happens in a fraction of a second. You're standing in a meeting, sitting at a family dinner, or having a seemingly normal conversation with someone you thought you trusted. Then, out of nowhere, it drops. A subtle jab, a sarcastic remark, a condescending tone, a thinly veiled insult disguised as a harmless joke. Instantly, your biology betrays you. Your chest tightens, your heart rate accelerates, the blood rushes to your face. In that exact moment, your mind screams at you to do one of two things. Either fight back and destroy them with a sharper comeback, or shrink, laugh awkwardly, and swallow the poison just to keep the peace. If you fight back, you enter their storm, you mirror their chaos. You step onto a battlefield they chose on their terms, playing by their rules. But if you swallow it and stay silent out of fear, you betray yourself. You teach them that your dignity is cheap and that your boundaries are fully negotiable. Most people spend their entire lives oscillating between these two miserable extremes: explosive reaction or quiet submission. And because of this, they live at the absolute mercy of how other people decide to treat them on any given day. But thousands of years ago, the ancient Stoics engineered a third option. Men like Marcus Aurelius, who ruled the known world, and Epictetus, who survived the brutal reality of slavery, understood a terrifyingly powerful truth. No human being on earth has the power to disrespect you without your subconscious consent. They recognized that an insult is not a weapon. It is an invitation. It is a test, and the moment you realize that you do not have to accept the invitation, you become completely, mentally untouchable. Today, we are going to tear down the fragile, reactive habits that have been costing you your peace and your power. We are going to explore the deep psychological mechanics of disrespect, and I'm going to give you exactly one sentence, one lethal Stoic sentence that will instantly disarm anyone who tries to belittle you. It will not just stop the disrespect in its tracks, it will fundamentally rewire how they view you forever. Before we unlock this architecture, you have a choice to make. You can close this video and go back to being a passenger to your own emotional triggers, or you can stay, rebuild your mind, and claim your sovereignty. Hit the subscribe button right now to join a community of builders who operate with quiet, devastating power. Leave a comment below to anchor your intention. Share this video with someone who is exhausted from fighting the wrong battles, and do not skip a single second. If you miss the foundation, the sentence will not work. Seal your commitment to this transformation today. Drop this exact vow in the comments right now. I am the sole commander of my reactions. Number 1. The illusion of the personal attack. To master disrespect, you must first completely misunderstand what it actually is. When someone insults you, cuts you off, or speaks to you with contempt, your ego instantly steps forward and declares, "This is about me." You assume they have calculated your flaws, measured your worth, and delivered a verdict on your identity. You take the insult, wrap it around your soul, and carry it like a heavy, burning stone. But Stoicism demands that you look through the illusion. When a person behaves with arrogance, cruelty, or passive aggression, they are not offering a critique of your character. They are giving you a desperate, messy confession of their own internal state. Happy, grounded, fulfilled people do not walk into rooms and attempt to make other people feel small. They do not drop sarcastic insults to steal the energy of the room. The person trying to provoke you is bleeding from their own invisible wounds. They are dealing with a profound sense of inadequacy, a terrifying lack of control in their own life, or a deep-seated jealousy of your light. They throw an insult the way a drowning person thrashes in the water, They're just trying to pull someone else down so they can feel like they are floating. Epictetus taught that we must not be disturbed by the actions of the ignorant, because they are simply acting according to their nature. When you stop taking disrespect personally, the insult loses its venom. You stop viewing them as an all-powerful judge, and you start viewing them as a patient in a hospital, sick with their own insecurity. When you realize it is not about you, the urgent, burning need to defend yourself simply evaporates. Anchor this truth in your mind right now. Comment below. Their disrespect is a confession of their own pain. Number 2. The fatal trap of over-explaining. When the disrespect lands, the most common and disastrous response is the urge to explain. Someone questions your competence, and you immediately launch into a frantic defense of your resume. Someone mischaracterizes your intentions, and you write a massive paragraph trying to prove that you are a good person. You think you are standing up for yourself, but psychologically, you are doing the exact opposite. You are stepping onto the witness stand and handing them the judge's gavel. When you frantically defend yourself against an insult, you are subconsciously signaling to the other person that their opinion carries massive authority over your life. You are telling them, your disrespect has destabilized me, and I need you to understand me so that I can feel safe again. The manipulator feeds on this. They love watching you scramble. They love watching you burn your premium energy, trying to convince them of something they have already decided not to believe. A stoic warrior never begs to be understood. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that an emerald does not lose its value simply because it is not praised. You do not owe a toxic person a thesis defense for your right to exist, your right to make choices, or your right to occupy space. To become untouchable, you must violently sever the cord of explanation. You must become entirely comfortable letting people be completely wrong about you. When you refuse to justify yourself to a fool, you starve them of the exact leverage they were trying to steal. Number 3. The one sentence that freezes them. Now we arrive at the maneuver. You have detached your ego. You have refused to explain yourself. The insult hangs in the air. The room is waiting for your reaction. The person who delivered the disrespect is waiting for you to snap, to cry, or to cower. Instead, you are going to look them directly in the eyes. You are not going to glare. You are not going to scowl. You are going to look at them with the calm, clinical curiosity of a scientist observing a very strange, very confused insect. You let 1 second pass, then 2, and then, with a perfectly steady, entirely neutral voice, you ask this one sentence. Are you hoping for a reaction from me? Let those words sink in. Are you hoping for a reaction from me? This is not a defensive strike. This is a devastating psychological mirror. When you ask this question, you do something profound. You instantly step outside the emotional frame of the conversation, and you force them to look at the mechanics of their own behavior. If they were trying to trigger you, you have just publicly exposed their tactic. You have named the game. Manipulators and toxic individuals operate in the shadows. They rely on subtext and passive aggression. When you drag their intention into the bright light with a calm, emotionless question, their entire strategy collapses. They will freeze. They will stumble. They might nervously laugh and say, "What? No, it was just a joke. You're too sensitive." But you have already won. You have demonstrated that you see right through them, and more importantly, you have demonstrated that their words failed to penetrate your armor. You did not give them the anger they wanted, and you did not give them the submission they expected. You gave them absolute, chilling awareness. Declare your new standard right now. Type this in the comments. I expose their chaos with my calm. Number 4. The devastating power of the silent void. The sentence is only the first half of the weapon. The second half is what follows it. After you ask, "Are you hoping for a reaction from me?" you must do the hardest thing for a human being to do in a tense situation. You must close your mouth and hold absolute silence. Do not elaborate. Do not say, "because it's really uncalled for." Do not soften the blow. Just ask the question and let the heavy, suffocating silence fill the room. Silence is a pressure cooker, and human beings despise it. When a toxic person is met with dead silence, their anxiety spikes. They realize they have lost control of the script. In their desperation to alleviate the overwhelming awkwardness they just created, they will start talking. They will backtrack. They will over-explain their joke. They will suddenly try to change the subject. While they are scrambling to fill the void, you simply watch them. Let them drown in the awkwardness of their own making. The Stoics knew that silence is not empty. It is full of answers. When you refuse to rescue someone from the discomfort of their own disrespectful behavior, you establish a boundary made of iron. You communicate without a single word that your peace is a fortress, and if they bring garbage to your gates, they will be left to clean it up entirely on their own. Number 5. The complete withdrawal of access. Once the moment has passed, the amateur believes the war is over, but the Stoic understands that true self-respect is enforced through long-term strategy. The toxic person has shown you who they are. They have shown you their willingness to cross your lines. You do not need to hold a grudge. A grudge is just a heavy bag of poison you carry on your own back. You do not need to plot revenge, because revenge keeps you tied to them. What you must do is practice the ultimate Stoic protocol, strategic withdrawal of access. Your attention, your warmth, your humor, and your presence are high-value, premium assets. They must be earned. When someone demonstrates that they do not respect you, you do not need to give a dramatic speech about how you are cutting them off. You simply reduce their clearance level in your life. You respond to their messages slower. You keep your answers brief and factual. You stop volunteering your personal stories. You stop offering your premium energy. You remain perfectly polite, completely professional, and absolutely cold. You become a gray rock. When they realize that their disrespect cost them the warmth of your presence, they will understand the true price of crossing you. You don't have to demand respect. You simply remove your energy from environments where it is not naturally given. Number 6. Reclaiming the architecture of your worth. Why do insults hurt so much in the first place? Why do we lie awake agonizing over a passing comment from someone we don't even like? It is because, on some deep, unhealed level, we fear that the insult might be true. If you build a house on sand, every gust of wind feels like a lethal threat to the entire structure. If your self-worth is built entirely on the validation, praise, and opinions of the external world, you will always live in a state of terror. Every disrespectful person you meet will have the power to tear down your identity. To become truly, deeply untouchable, you must do the brutal, private work of building an inner citadel. You must take inventory of your own character. You must honor your promises to yourself. You must act with discipline, integrity, and raw honesty when absolutely no one is looking. When you know exactly who you are, when you know the grueling hours you have put into your own growth, and when you are deeply proud of your own soul, the insults of the crowd sound like the barking of distant dogs. Marcus Aurelius told himself, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." When your life is aligned with your own highest virtues, you stop needing the world to applaud you, and you stop fearing the world when it mocks you. You look at the person disrespecting you, and you realize they are speaking to a phantom, a projection, a completely false version of you that only exists in their mind. They cannot touch you because they cannot even see you. Lock this deep into your subconscious today. Drop this vow in the comments. My self-worth is not up for negotiation. Number 7. Embrace the peace of being the villain in their story. Here is the final, brutal truth that you must digest if you ever want to be free. When you stop reacting, when you stop explaining, when you hold your silence and withdraw your access, the toxic people in your life will not applaud your new boundaries. They will not respect your stoic calm. They will hate it. They will call you arrogant. They will tell other people that you have changed, that you are cold, that you think you are better than everyone else. They will rewrite the history of the relationship to cast themselves as the innocent victims and you as the unreasonable villain. Let them. You must kill the desperate, exhausting need to be the hero in everyone else's narrative. You cannot control the stories people whisper behind closed doors, and trying to manage your reputation among fools is a miserable way to spend your finite life. Let them think you are the villain. Let them misunderstand your peace as pride. Let them take comfort in their delusions. Your life is not a public relations campaign. You're not here to win an election for their approval. You're here to master your own mind, execute your own purpose, and live with radical, unshakable peace. When you finally surrender the need to be liked by everyone, you step into a tier of freedom that the masses will never, ever experience. Disrespect is loud, but true power is completely silent. It does not argue, it does not plead, it does not stoop to the level of the provocateur. True power looks the madness of the world dead in the eye and refuses to mirror the chaos. The next time someone tries to test your boundaries, do not panic, do not rush. Let the pause stretch. Look at them, realize that their internal storm is not your responsibility, and ask the question that changes everything. Are you hoping for a reaction from me? Then stand in the magnificent silence of your own sovereignty. If you have stayed with me until the very end of this video, you are not a consumer. You are an architect of your own mind. You belong to the rare fraction of humanity that actually seeks truth over comfort. Prove your commitment today. Hit the like button to cement your progress. Share this video with someone who is currently giving their power away to toxic people, and make sure you are subscribed so you never lose your edge. Leave your final, unbreakable declaration in the comments below. I am untouchable, unbothered, and entirely free. Stay grounded, stay disciplined. Guard your inner citadel. I will see you in the next one.